Aloha, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Prince John Internet TV. I'm here with you, sharing my thoughts. It may seem a little random and mixed up, but try and put it all together. I'm just trying to share it and make it available as soon as I can. So, it is not if there will be accidents and failures in life, but when. I am perfect and pure light, but I decide to experience imperfection and polarity and separation, and created man and woman so they would be able to have a goal to unite with each other. Be prepared, though. Sometimes it will be necessary to leave the body and let go of it all, because it's no longer serving you. But I do not die, and I believe we're all the same being, that there is no separation from God, that we're all one brilliant being of white light, and that there is always a place for me because I created everything to experience whatever I want. Will what I do be contingent upon if others are comfortable with it? As long as I do not want attention, I am free to be myself with my soulmate. As long as my source of power is from within and from sustainable sources such as sexual activity, exercise, music listening, dancing, timeless things that always are in style, as opposed to going into different fads, trying to look rich, or have fancy things, costly foods, pets, or things like vacations. I should be able to live simply, and no matter what, my soulmate will not leave me, and she will be permanently connected to me. In other words, I won't have to impress her. She'll like me for just who I am, the unique self I am. And I think there's only one person who you'll find in life who will like you just for who you are. And then what you do is you kind of you fuse together, and you engage in a conjugal relationship. You know, okay, so all I want from people is to see them smiling. I don't want their wives, and I don't want them to think I am taking too much and not giving enough. So please tell me if you think somehow I'm taking more and not enough from everyone. Like, for instance, I had this idea that perhaps I should give to the Red Cross, and I'm coming up with different ideas, including what the church should do. You know, if you're going to give 10% to some type of a church-like organization or some type of spiritual guru, and what should the government do? Should the government be responsible for being charitable to other countries and so on? Just some thoughts for you. Okay, and need to determine who or what I need. Do I need things or do I need God? And when I put this bright white light first, that is me, then I believe everything that I want happens because I am that white light. And when I allow it to be there, then that's me. So the personality is why I would want to like a person. It may happen to be that there's a physical attraction too, but maybe not. Maybe they're crippled and maybe their face is burned or something. But once I see who they are and I like it and they like me, as long as our minds are there and we can have orgasms, then does it really matter if they're old and they don't look attractive? I mean, as long as their heart beats, I want to hold that person and just pleasure them and just be with them. And it's up to me to have my own heaven. It does, everyone else has their own world. And what I do doesn't have to be based upon that. Now remember to remain neutral towards professional relationships. Like, for instance, if you go on the bus and you greet people with a professional courtesy that you might greet a fellow bus rider, or maybe your neighbor, just a social courtesy. Um, don't feel upset if they um, don't respond in a friendly manner, because it's not it's not illegal to ignore somebody, but so just remain neutral. Don't remain angry, or don't try to gain their friendship. Like, you might try to gain somebody's friendship because they look a certain way or they have something, but this is not genuine. This is not it's not to do with spiritual family. Spiritual family, as we know, is brothers and sisters who believe and do things that we like to do. So, on another subject, one second here. Okay, on another subject, try to react with kindness and diplomacy before attacking a person. Alright. Smiling and offering food shows that I am not a threat, and I will not be a threat to others if I don't have to be. Here's what I'm thinking about. Say somebody does something inappropriate in a public place like a bus, like maybe they play music too loudly, in a situation where citizens can be alert and look at what they are doing and report it. So you have to ask yourself how to respond to a problematic person. Should you do light work? Should you tell an authority? Should you leave the space? Should you try and intervene? To we should create a text messaging system so without the criminal knowing that you reported them, you can report them. And that way it is impossible to determine who sent the text message to call the police. And also, people who are authorities should be schooled in protocol, and so they know what to do. Things such as bus drivers should have maybe pepper spray or whistles, and so on. Okay, another thought. If a person selling drugs does not confess who they got it from, I think that the government should put them and their family in a witness protection place, safe zone, so that they can tell them who got the drugs, and that way they are more confident to snitch on the source, and then the government can keep going until they find the source. And remember, all these difficulties and challenges are me testing myself. So let's not get too attached to one particular lifetime or situation, and just know that we put ourselves in this physical realm to experience things, good and bad. Without the bad or challenging, you can't really enjoy the good. Like people who are rich, they can't enjoy life unless they have a purpose. They do some type of work. I think there's a certain type of relief and confidence that goes along with being married, because there's no stress about impressing others. And to the other subject, don't react angrily unless in a safe place to do so. Adversaries and the victim and the attacker should be put in a protective setting. So, for instance, if two people are arguing and they have a vendetta against each other, I think the victim should be put in protective housing and the attacker detained until the matter is resolved. That way there's no chance something will escalate and there are preventative measures put in place. I think there should be a license to carry weapons, including pepper spray and knives, in public. Remember, when asking somebody to fight, don't have any weapons. Take your shirt off or something to show that you're not armed, and try to distract them and get attention, and blow a whistle or something until backup arrives, so that if it's possible for nobody to get hurt, then you do the procedure, and say things like, why are you really angry, or I didn't intend to upset you, or ask, let's say you're intervening in an altercation, ask one party, did they really mean to upset the other party? But try to discern if you think the person's a little crazy and needs to be incapacitated, like they're drunk or they're crazy. But most people, I believe, can be talked out of conflict. And remember, blow the whistle, because before an altercation, physical, it always starts with verbal. So if you can somehow dismiss or disperse any verbal confrontation, then I think you can help to quash the physical engagement. I teach myself and increase complexity. In a relationship, remember to take turns deciding what music to play and what to do at any given time. I ask, what have I done karmically to deserve this current problem or rude person? Or rather, what can I do to improve the situation? That way I don't feel guilty, but I just keep on focusing on positive reactions. Don't attack yourself. Clear your head. Clear your head when dark and angry words are said. Repeat positive phrases to clear out your system and take control of your headspace. And remember not to try to prove that you exist as God, like tell others that you're God, but simply say that you try to enjoy existence with a confidence that you'll always exist. And it's not like you have to prove yourself or else you might die. Sometimes we have to show people what God is. With gift giving, smiling. Another thought, don't stare at other people. How would I like it if they stared at me? Like sometimes I used to look at women, but now I try and not look too much, because I wouldn't want to have my privacy violated, especially in a public and crowded setting in which you don't have much room. Alright, if you're doing something unorthodox, like say wearing one of these when you're doing something dangerous, like to protect your jaw. Imagine everyone else agrees with it and thinks it's normal. Everyone else agrees with it and thinks it's normal, because it's the words in the head that are mine. So, for instance, say you're doing something strange, just imagine other people think, oh, that's normal, that's conventional. And just say that in your head, because, own your space. And remember, I am not a thing. You can repeat this. I am not a thing. I am not this body. I am God. I enjoy it and follow the path I lead myself on. And I don't try to follow the animal brain to decide where I belong. Try to use critical thinking skills to figure out what to do. I try to allow myself, pure light, to be channeled into physicality, and I do light work. Thanks for being here with me tonight. See you again soon.